flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'm looking for a motion to approve the meeting agenda. Chance, and a second? Okay, thank you. And we will, do we have any blue cards, Pearl? No blue cards, so we will skip that. And we will go on to special presentations to the board with our update on our capital project.
Like really get your finger into the button.
Good evening. I'm Pat Griffin, Amanda Thomas, Chris Cray, to give you an update this evening. Thank you Friday night for the recognition that we have enjoyed working with everybody here, and I think the stadium turned out extremely well, and it was a nice night to be out here, and I had a good time. And my son was really impressed with your marching band, so he wanted to know when we can get one at our school. So, but thanks again. What I wanted to do was just highlight some of the activities that were completed in the elementary buildings here, because the end of this fiscal or this season, we're going to close out 3 of the buildings on paper so we can get 8 rolling, and I just want to highlight the major milestones with those buildings that were done. So next slide, please. There. So at Brewerton Elementary, we did the roof, some new metal. There was steel reinforcement for design concerns with snow load, so that was all completed. In those areas of steel, we had to take down ceilings and put in new lights. All that work's been done. We're in the process of doing lighting control, things like that. So the new bus loop was installed out front and widened. We will be, in the next couple of weeks, getting the buses parked as far as alignment and painting some stripes on those. We just wanted to wait till we had drivers and go through a placement of all the buses. And there was masonry improvements done there over on the north end of the building out back. There was some masonry that was failing, so that all got reconstructed, as well as a bunch of through wall flashing with all of the roof projects are really getting that as well. Hastings Mallory, we re-roofed the remaining of the building 10 years ago. You did an area of the building, so this was to finish the building. The steel reinforcement in there as well, primarily in the front hallway there, just in front of the gymnasium. Again, those areas with new ceiling lights and ceilings in those areas. Front parking lot created 28 spaces. That was kind of an ad. You didn't currently have that, so right now you have a nice new parking lot out front. It's striped. Light poles will be going in here pretty soon, but it really looks well. So this is looking at the bus loop in progress at Brewerton Elementary. Took down some of the shrubbery that was out front to make room for the widening of the pavement. As you can see now, restoration's ongoing there with the topsoil hydroseeding and mulching is completed, I believe. And we just have to come in and place the buses and paint the stripes. Again, Brewerton Elementary, that was just the parking lot. We moved the road over to the right and added some additional parking spaces there. I think it was roughly an add of 15 or 16 spots. We did take some away up by the building. So that's all ready to go. This is your new parking lot out in front of Hastings Mallory. And as you can see, striped, and on the far right side of the picture you'll see the concrete bases waiting for the light poles to come in. So that's all ready to go. A.A. Cole, new roof, Same steel reinforcement, new ceilings in the affected areas of the steel replacement, new parking lot with a parent drop-off loop that was kind of adjusted after the project started, so I think that came out really nice, and the parking area there is tremendous now. Also, there were some masonry improvements there. We had with the flashing details, but we did have a little bit of masonry repointing to do with that building. So I think we have some pictures of the bus loop out there, or the parent drop-off, I guess we'll call it. So right now you have a drive-in, drive-out. At the beginning of this summer when we came just before school ended, parents were driving in and driving right back out because it was kind of a crazy situation there, and we're probably not very safe for the students. So that got addressed, and I think that's turned out tremendous. So there's a couple light poles that are there, bases. We're waiting for the light poles there. We have to do that district-wide where we did the pavements. So down to the middle school, you can see on the left upper corner is the tennis courts that just got paved the other day. We're doing lawn restoration and replace some pavement and drainage improvements around the back of the building there. High school stadium. New track surface and drainage was installed and completed. New turf field top with shock pad. New stadium parking lot, which is down next to CSI. I think that was topped today. New long jump pits, new steeplechase, new interior track fencing. So a real makeover of the existing facility, which I think really popped well.
It's the first time, Jim Dranzak said, and that our coaches said that the 24-second clock there.
Yep, your shot clock there. Yeah.
Actually was able to work through the second half as well. It usually just always died by the second half, whatever the power issue was down there.
Yeah, there was some. They're tough because they're below grade, and they get moisture, and it's a battle for Paul. I mean, we were fortunate to catch it, and I think the new boxes covers they put on have a little bit better of a seal, and we're trying to make some improvements to that. So hopefully that continues to be the case. But anytime you have electric underground and connections, it's a hard thing. So I think we have some more pictures there, bro. Okay, so there's your stadium. Just a couple more pictures here of the track. Okay. So high school, new parking lot here just out to the back. New maintenance access road along the north side of the building. We're going to top that here in the next couple of days. This makes things easier. We did get the roof on over the auditorium and band room out over here, which was a big plus. I know Paul's had a lot of leaks in those areas, so hopefully that helps this winter. And thank you for putting up with the little extra noise right there at the end of the summer. So that helped. Mechanical upgrades into the data rooms are happening kind of district-wide too, but in this building a little bit more. And then the exterior stairs at Miller and Hawk were done. We do have some temporary handrails there. We had to wait till we finished the stairs out back here to get them measured, and they'll come in and do those here in the next few weeks. And then the widening of the bus loop out at Millard Hawk. Again, we're going to park buses, get it figured out so we can get it striped. That's really all that happened with Millard Hawk for this phase. But there's your lot up right outside the doors here. It made it a lot easier for plowing. There's the Brewerton Elementary shot of the new fascias. So nice new trim around there. That's all done. That's kind of what we're working on right now. It's daytime work. It's not as noisy, and it doesn't, helps with the getting that done. That's what was planned to be done. And there's a new sidewalk that kind of ties into the loading dock off the front, so when parents want to drop their kids off, they have a safe place to step up on a walk. Millard Hawk's bus loop is nice and wide now, so we'll get the buses in there and figure that out. There's the temporary handrails. The guy that did them is actually a district resident, and he works for the site contractor, and he thought he did a heck of a job, and I have to say he did a really nice job on temporary rails if you had a look at them. But those will be replaced with steel railings in the near future here. So phase one next steps, I'm going to turn this over to Amanda.
Sure. Good evening. So we just wanted to talk a little bit about phase one and what the next steps are, and Pat and Chris can help me with this as well. So from September to November, we're going to continue the work on various buildings. The roof the roofs that we're working on this summer in Brewerton, Hastings, Mallory, and A.A. Cole are watertight, but they are working on the metal edge copings into the school year. So they will start to finish those up, and as Pat mentioned, we'll start to get those projects closed out with Maureen so that we can get that aid flowing. So the goal is to have final payment applications from contractors sometime in November, so that we can have final cost reports created by your financial group in December, so we can get those in. And that's the next line item. So in December 2018, we're planning to do the closeout for Brewerton, Hastings, Mallory, and A.A. Cole for Phase 1. And then in the summer of 2019, Phase 1 continues, so we'll have the roof at Millard Hawk and the high school complete. So that will be next summer's work, along with completing the technology and the phone project scope. So minus some minor work that might carry into 2020 for Phase 1, only related to the auditorium work at the high school, Phase 1 should be substantially complete by next summer, minus a little bit, and we'll update you as that goes along as to how much we can get done in the summer of 2019. So I just wanted to give you a quick update on Phase 2 since the last time I was here. So we have received architectural approval on from SED on the architectural piece. That actually allowed us to push for the third-party review. We had to finish the architectural review first. So the set has been issued to the third-party reviewer. So that has been sent from SCD to the third-party reviewer last week. So now the clock is on to see how long that takes. We've been seeing anywhere from 30 days to 3 months. So we'll keep you updated on that progress and when we get comments back from that third-party reviewer. So in the interim, the design team, the district, Turner and King have been reviewing the final estimate. So we received that last week, so we need to rectify that, so that's a work in progress. We'll continue to do that, and once we've done that with all the parties, we can come back and really go over the final project scope and all of the alternates for the project. So we'll give you some more detail in terms of phasing, final construction schedule, and then the final project
Amanda,
scope.
do you know if any school districts have actually invited a third-party reviewer to come in to answer any questions and about that yet, or no?
To actually have them come in?
It's City BOCES, right?
The third-party reviewer isn't City BOCES. The third-party reviewer is actually another MEP firm. So the SED has selected certain firms throughout the state. Okay. And they have agreed to review that. So it goes from SED, City BOCES sends it then goes to City BOCES, and then City BOCES sends it to the approved third-party reviewer. So depending on where they're located, it's really just similar to what we do with SED. It's basically they call us, we receive comments, and then we submit an addendum based on
So do you know how long it'll be until we get a rough idea of where we'll be in the queue?
So I can call and see. There isn't really a queue. They send it directly to the reviewer, and the reviewer, once they receive it, now you have to give, I think, there's a couple weeks on both ends that they allow for transit and shipping and everything like that. But the third-party reviewer only has a certain amount of time to review the project, and they're expected to provide comments within that amount of time. And it's really dependent on the size of the project. So obviously a larger project, which this one is somewhat on the larger side, takes a little bit longer to review than a smaller one would. Yeah. Is there any questions? That's all I have for this evening. We'll definitely be back in the near future to update you on the estimate and final construction schedule. Is there any questions?
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yeah. As far as the reports under unfinished business, we will address these when Andy returns.
And the other board members.
Yes, because we're missing quite a few board members this evening, so we'll wait for the next meeting. So we'll move on to item F, items for discussion and action. Approval of the Special Patrol Officers Agreement. Can I get a motion? Oh, do you want to do yours?
Sure, I'll jump into it. Yeah.
All right, okay.
Superintendent report. I will just say, I just had a couple things. I wanted to say I was very pleased at the turnout for Friday's game. I thought it was great. The people that we were able to recognize, we recognized all the, the custodians and maintenance workers, and I know Paul was just here. His crew did a phenomenal job. Longtime TA, Deb O'Mara has done a wonderful job in her 34 years total working with the district, whether it was student government or task force. She's been a big presence, and I'm glad that we were able to do that. I was thrilled to be able to recognize the Special Patrol officers, the Board of Trustees, and our board members, because that's a great partnership. We were able to have the SPOs. I've heard nothing but wonderful things. I've had parents calling me from the presence in the high school and the middle school, but also at the elementary, how they absolutely love Hargraves down there as well. So that has been fantastic. I do want to say that we're very excited for our first College and Career Readiness Committee. It's on the 19th of this month, and we're really excited to bring that to the next level after we now have identified the attributes and competencies. I think the people that come to that first meeting are going to be really excited to now see how we're really moving from paper to practice. We established the attributes and competencies, but now people are really going to see where it's starting to take shape. When the high school does their presentation on the senior exiting portfolios and what that looks like with the ASVAB. The ASVAB is going to be actually across the board given to 10th graders. Originally, when we were talking, it was going to be 9th, but we've had extensive conversations with the people that run it, and they said there's been significant change in the ASVAB in the past 5 years. So the context that they have, especially with algebra, would really be more beneficial for a district to use this valuable data if it were the sophomores. So we are getting that out there as much as we can to the parents and whatnot. That's going to be obviously mentioned again at College and Career Readiness Committee. Kristen Enright, our executive principal / director of counseling and Pathways to Success, has done a great job working with our counselors. I've already seen just a tremendous amount of students that are now meeting with their counselors on a regular basis to really establish what those pathways are. So that's really, really exciting. I was very, very pleased that we were able to get kind of like a variance for the first year to get another one of our biology teachers, the biology honors, to actually be CCC credited. At first they had denied one of our teachers, but now they have since reconsidered and looking at it. So that is another big bonus right now, and it all plays into our whole college and career readiness. So that's really exciting. Wednesday, we're going to have some great things about that. Having a really good start to the school year, and that's basically a couple other things real quick. I want to congratulate Jared King for earning performance seat in the New York State Conference All-Band. That is a huge honor. Congratulations to the members of the Red Hawk Regiment Marching Band on taking first place at CNS competition Saturday. That's a tremendous honor. Leanne Dents, 2016 graduate of Paul V. Moore, is the president of the Onondaga Community College Student Government Association. Here's a quote from Leanne. I participated in Winter Guard, Parade Band, and Field Band for 7 years when I was at Central Square. We had a week in between the seasons, and then it started up again. It was all about the dedication, a schedule, and being on time. Those are the things that just became normal to me. I didn't realize it at the time, how it was grooming me to be in a leadership position, but it really gave me the structure that I needed. Also, want to highlight Central Square was highlighted in the Central Area's news section of the New York School Nutrition Association's Focus magazine. The publication is issued quarterly, and in addition to the highlighted areas throughout New York State, it was distributed throughout the entire state of New York to all members. So that was a great honor. The Citizen Outlet just did a great thing. I just tweeted it out. Gabe Cesari, Frank Derdzinski, and Brandon Martin. The article was about them. They are joining forces. They're the captains on our Red Hawk Boys varsity track team for this upcoming season. They hope to lead the team to an appearance in the postseason federation race. Here's a quote from Gabe Cesari. I don't see a lot of other teams having this close of a connection, so I feel that this gives us the upper edge this year. I think it comes down to accountability because you depend on your teammates and your friends on and off the course. I think that's awesome anytime that we can actually get quotes from our students. That's wonderful. That pretty much ends my superintendent report. We got a lot of great things going on here at Central Square. Oh, and I want to welcome Paige Winks, our Board of Education student representative.
Thank you. We'll now move on to items for discussion, with the first one being the approval of the Special Patrol Officers Agreement. Can I have a motion to accept?
I'll second.
Okay. Thank you. Did you get that, Pearl? Okay. Now we'll move on to approval of textbooks.
Sorry.
Got to vote.
Oh, geez, I'm sorry. I missed right over that. I'm sorry. It's been a while. Okay, can I have a vote, please? Call for a vote. Everybody, all in favor? Okay, thanks, guys. Okay, now we'll move on to approval of textbooks. AutoCAD in its applications 2019. It's a college credit. Cayuga Community College, right?
Yes, so that's actually the book that the students have, so really it's kind of a book we have to agree to because that's the book that they use in their college course.
Okay. Okay, can I get a motion to accept the approval of, in a second, on the approval of the textbook?
I'll make the motion.
Second? Oh, you don't.
She's got an innie.
Okay, can I call for a vote, please? All in favor of the approval of the textbook? Okay, thank you. Now we will move on to the consent agenda. Can we take this in its entirety? Okay, looking for a motion to accept the consent agenda.
I'll make that motion.
Surprise.
And I'll second.
Okay, thank you. Looking for a vote to approve these items? All in favor? Thank you. Moving on to item H, personnel. And can we take this in its entirety? Is there any problem with that?
My only question is that my wife's name appears in one of the documents, so I don't know if I can, I don't know if I should or could vote on that.
If he can't, then we'd have to table it, because we don't have enough.
You can. You have the right to. Then we don't have to table.
Yeah,
If
you
feel
can.
comfortable.
If you don't feel comfortable, we can
No,
vote.
I'm fine with it, I just didn't want
Yeah,
to
you-
cross any lines.
No, you can.
No, you wouldn't be. Okay, looking for a motion to accept item H.
I'll make that motion.
In a second, Christie?
I'll
Okay. And I'm calling for a vote to approve all of that. All in favor? Okay. Thank you. And we are not going to have the executive session, so I would like to call for an adjournment. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
In a second? All in favor? Thank you, everybody. Thanks for coming.